to our newsroom. It is Greeny here with you. Get up. We're with you commercial free for the next 13 minutes, talking lots and lots of football. And then First Take takes over top of the hour here on ESPN. Talking hoops, even without Durant. What message to Kyrie and Harden? What did they send LeBron last night? Plus, did the Eagles lose the Carson Wentz trade? Stephen A. Max and Molly coming up top of the hour here on ESPN. Again, we're with you commercial free from now until then. And the top story continues. The Eagles agreeing to trade quarterback Carson Wentz to the Colts for a third-round pick this year and a conditional 2 next year that could turn into a 1. And as a result of that move, the Colts now have the 5th shortest odds to win the AFC. They're 12-1, trailing Kansas City, Buffalo, Baltimore, and Cleveland. They're 22-1 to win it all at Caesars Sportsbook by William Hill. But those are rankings that don't matter to us. The only rankings that matter on this program are Ryan Clark's power rankings. And so, RC, the floor is yours. Who are the 5 best teams in the AFC right now?
Bruh, Caesar, they almost got it right, because at number 5, it is the Indianapolis Colts. And I know Nico says he thinks the Tennessee Titans are still the best team in the South. Lies you tell. It's the Indianapolis Colts. Think about what they were able to do with Phillip Rivers. And I know everyone's going to point to what Carson Wentz looked like last year. You know who also stunk it up before last year? Phillip Rivers for the Chargers, and look where he had the Indianapolis Colts, right with an opportunity to beat the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo in the first round of the playoffs. All he has to do is get rid of some of those lows. You have a great defense, a great offensive line, and you have a running game. If Carson Wentz can find some of that late 2019 magic, this team will be a contender in the AFC. And at number 4, I got the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens are now, at least to me, going to be one of the teams that we see fighting for playoff position and AFC contention every single year because of Lamar Jackson. We saw him get back to doing some Lamar Jackson-like things later on in the season, especially what he was able to do against the Tennessee Titans. I kind of had that love at first sight feeling like this is the dude I have been looking for and waiting for. A defense that's extremely opportunistic. They're very physical up front. They still need to get a weapon on the outside. I understand, and they understand as well. They need that. I think they do that this year, and that helps this team. At number 3, and I'm going to take a lot of flack for this, the Buffalo Bills. Why aren't the Buffalo Bills number 2? Ooh, Josh Allen. He has arm arrogance. The defense was great under Leslie Frazier. Yes, I believe all those things. That's why I have them at 3. But when we watch what happened against the Kansas City Chiefs twice last year, it showed that they were not in that class yet. Josh Allen will continue to ascend. I expect Stephon Diggs to have an encore season to what he did in his first year with the Buffalo Bills. And we saw what that relationship was like, and also a secondary and a defense that was improving late last season. The Buffalo Bills will be a team, as long as Josh Allen has a right arm, who we will have to see late in playoff seasons. And at number 2, it's the Cleveland Browns. I think I took a lot of flack a couple of weeks ago because I had the Cleveland Browns in my top 5. Yes, and they are number 2. What I watched down the stretch of last season was a team that understood themselves. A Kevin Stefanski-led team that knew who they were. Baker Mayfield understood what his job was on the team. A running game that was physical and will bludgeon you. And when you have a team that became opportunistic on defense with guys like Denzel Ward, with guys like Myles Garrett, you can win football games. Knowing who you are is half the battle. That's what G.I. Joe said. Knowing is half the battle. The Cleveland Browns now know. The Cleveland Browns now have their coach, and they also have their quarterback. And at number 1, you know I'm going with Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not even sure why we had to get to number 1. And everybody's going to look at the Super Bowl and say, well, if you can rush Patrick Mahomes and you can make it tough on him. Yeah, if you can rush and make it tough on him, you know what you'll see? 2 or 3 of the greatest incompletions in Super Bowl in history. Patrick Mahomes is a monster. And you know what I like about this, Greeny? It's not going to be the run it back talk. It's not going to be let's go get 7 and beat Michael Jordan, forgetting Tyreek that Tom Brady already had 6 and now he has 7. You know what it's going to be? We got to get a little better. You know what it's going to be? Patrick, I got to learn to get the ball out of my hands, read these defenses a little quicker. Andy, I got to get back in the lab. Eric Bieniemy, I got to get back in the lab. Defense, we got to get better. And we need an upset Chiefs team. This team is upset. This team is ready to roll, and they will be the best team in the AFC once again in 2021.
And so there you see, and that's Ryan Clark's rankings: Colts, Ravens, Bills, Browns, Chiefs. Before I let you guys have at it, RC, I phrased it today, like who are the best teams today? Because there's one big factor that could change all of this, yes? If Deshaun Watson winds up getting traded to an AFC team, that could change everything here, yes? If Deshaun Watson winds up on Miami, are the Dolphins crashing this party?
Ooh, absolutely. I mean, absolutely. Look at what the Dolphins were last year. They were one game away from getting into the playoffs. They were one game away from making noise. And obviously, we all could see that Tua Tagovailoa wasn't ready. If Deshaun Watson goes to Miami, to me, that catapults that team in the conversation of 1 and 2 in the AFC, nowhere lower than that.
Okay, fair enough. And obviously, if he winds up on the Jets, they will definitely go unbeaten and win the Super Bowl. So now let me come to the reaction here. The list as of right this minute, Rob Ninkovich, what jumped out to you?
Number 5, that's it. Number 5. Everything else I like. RC, I like the list. I just think number 5, you got to take the Colts. You got to go back maybe
Who's
2.
there?
And I'd put number 5. I would put Tennessee there. I'd put Tennessee at number 5. I think that they're going to be a better team, better equipped for 2021. There's so many question marks with the Colts and the new quarterback, right? He's got to have to go out there and answer a lot of questions. It's hard for me to put them in the top 5 with losing a quarterback and gaining a quarterback that just had statistically the worst season of his career.
And Graziano, the other day on this program, you picked the Bills to win the Super Bowl. So I wonder if you have any questions about that.
Well, just real quick on Ninko. Obviously, he's going to go with Vrabel's team over the Colts. I mean, obviously, those Patriot defenders are all, one big club, and we understand why that is, and it's not a bad. They had the same record last year, so it's a flip of a coin. And look, as for the list, it's been made clear to me many times that my opinion does not matter because it's Ryan Clark's power rankings, and his is the only opinion that matters. So it's really not for me, Greeny, to speculate on why Ryan Clark doesn't like the Buffalo Bills and what he has against them. And it's not for me to point out that, yes, they lost to the Chiefs in a game when Patrick Mahomes actually played the whole game, whereas the Browns couldn't beat Chad Henne. It's not for me to mention those things because it's Ryan Clark's list, and we have to respect that.
Hey, Greeny, you know what? After me and Dan shared a great moment this week, we sent some text messages to each other. I thought that this relationship was cultivated on Culture Wednesday. Clearly on Friday, Dan Graziano is a totally
Friday,
different
man. All bets are off. All bets are off.
It's a very
Friday.
different Graziano on Football Fridays. All right, in the meantime, let me get back to the primary point here. It is what Carson Wentz will be with the Indianapolis Colts. Earlier this morning, we had Dan Orlovsky live from his vacation, and he offered these thoughts.
Carson Wentz will play MVP type of football again in Indianapolis. I look at the Colts as definitely a Super Bowl contender next year. I don't think they have to win it next year. He's under contract for the next 4 years, but they're one of the top 4 teams in the AFC with Kansas City, Buffalo, and Cleveland now. Now that he's in Indy with Press Taylor and with Frank Reich, the Colts are going to be a big problem next year, and Carson Wentz, mark my words, will play really good football.
And so, right now, Carson Wentz, MVP, those are the words he used. We'll go back to the odds here. Caesars by William Hill puts him at 40-1, so he's tied for like the 14th most likely player. But for those just joining us, RC, I thought you made a really interesting point on this morning, that Carson Wentz should not be thinking about being the MVP, that what the Colts need is for him to be the opposite of that. Why?
Because that's what got Carson Wentz into trouble this year, trying to be the MVP, trying to bring back some of that 2017 magic, working to get his own statue in Philadelphia while Nick Foles already had one. That's not what you need. That's not what the Colts have been looking for since Andrew Luck retired. That's why they had Jacoby Brissett. That's why they went out and got Phillip Rivers, and now getting Carson Wentz. What he needs to do is say, you know what? I don't have to play hero ball because of all of these things around me. But when they need me, when I have to be special, when I have to show them some of that number 2 overall pick talent, some of those things that you just can't coach, that's when I have to show up. That's how this team gets to a Super Bowl. That's how we contend with Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, Josh Allen, the Buffalo Bills, Baker Mayfield, and the Cleveland Browns. I don't have to do too much here. This is not about becoming an MVP. This is about becoming a champion. And that's why the Indianapolis Colts made this deal to get Carson Wentz.
And so that's where he goes, the team he leaves behind. Meanwhile, Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts, second-round pick last year, played pretty well those last 4 games. Now we're going to do what all reporters hate to do, Graziano, and I'm going to put you on the spot. Who's there, you're going to guess, Who's their starting quarterback going to be week 1 next year? Will it be Hurts or will it be someone else?
I think it'll be Hurts, but that does not mean that the Eagles will not look at or take a quarterback with their first-round pick. They're picking 6th right now. If the Philadelphia Eagles have a quarterback available to them in the first round that they believe is a potential franchise quarterback, I believe the Eagles will take that player, and yes, it'll create a quarterback controversy, and maybe Hurts beats him out in camp and the rookie has to sit for a while. But I think that's how the Eagles view the quarterback position. It's a hard bet to make. I'm not one of these folks that likes to go bet these things, but if someone came to me for advice, if Ryan Clark came to me and said, look, I just got this huge new contract from ESPN, I want to bet some of it on who the Eagles week 1 starter will be, I would say the best bet right now is Hurts, but I wouldn't necessarily put the whole thing down.
The thing is, though, Dan, the thing is, does that make a controversy, though? Like, if they see a guy as a future franchise quarterback and they draft him at 6, I believe there's no controversy. I believe that dude becomes the day 1 starter because this can't be a Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers type of situation. I think that's it. If they get a guy at 6, he's the starter day 1 to me.
And then finally, there was nothing we did today that was as much fun as Rob Ninkovich, a Chicago kid, analyzing the possibilities of Deshaun Watson winding up on the Chicago Bears. Ninko, should that happen? Should Watson be the quarterback of your hometown team, the Chicago Bears? What should we expect to happen?
Well, I'm telling you this, Greening, I think if they do that, we'll be Super Bowl champs. The Bears, if they can get this done and they can get that trade going, I'm telling you, the Skis, the Borowskis, the Trubiskys, any ski in Chicago, they'll be supporting going for Watson because guess what? He is a Super Bowl contender no matter what. And the Chicago Bears, if they can do that, if they can get to another Super Bowl, it's been 1985 was the last time we were celebrating, smoking cigars with Ditka. Walter Payton, the man, the best running back in the history of the game. If we can get back to the Super Bowl, I'm telling you, if we could do it once, we could do it twice, we could do it 3 times, we could do it 4 or 5 times in a row, maybe 10 years. You sign him to a 10-year extension, 10-time Super Bowl champ, the Chicago Bears. The Bears.
That's extraordinarily well done. That's very well done. Rob Ninkovich, the pride, do I have it right? Joliet, Illinois?
Joliet, yeah, Joliet. Don't get it wrong, okay?
You and Joliet Jake, the legends. That's very well done. Guys, thank you all for getting up with us here on this Football Friday. The big news just keeps coming. The NFL hot stove season is as good as it gets. Most importantly, thank you for getting up with us. Enjoy the sports this weekend. I'll be coast to coast on ESPN Radio in 60 seconds. First Take starts now.